Hello, friends. How are you? How's things? We're doing something different this week. Top five lists. This week, or today, sorry. Today's top five is brought to you by our friend Joel, who asked this question a long time ago, and I've just never answered it because I didn't feel like I had been to enough memorable places. Today is top five places I've visited. And I think I have been to memorable places in the past 3 years. And so, three of the things on this list I've only recently visited. Actually, and four is my honorable mention on this list. Is the fourth place I've visited in the last 3 years. So, yeah, I've traveled a lot. I've traveled pretty extensively pre these few years, but it's always been to just conventions and other, or event like business travel to lots of other states. But I've never really got to go explore and visit. So that's only really happened in I've only had the money to do that sort of thing in the last 3 or 4 years. So a bunch of stuff on here is just current or more recent travel, which if you follow me on social media, you've probably seen pictures of those. But number five, I haven't been to this place in 24 years. That's Hawaii. I actually lived in Hawaii. I was stationed in Hawaii for 3 years and 3 years and 5 months or something like that. 3 years, 5 months. I stationed in Hawaii, lived on K Bay, Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii, and uh, I also visited Hawaii as a teenager. Well, I was a teenager when I lived there too. Whatever. At 14, my sister graduated high school, and her graduation present was a trip to Hawaii. I wasn't supposed to go. It was going to be my parents and my sister, but my dad ended up having to take his team, his students at his vocational school won a trip to nationals, and so he had to go to nationals to compete, and so I got to go in his place. And I visited it, loved it. Did not really intend to live there. Didn't ask to be stationed there. Ended up being stationed there for 3.5 years, and I did not like it at all. Did not like living there. I love the place. I would absolutely love to visit it again, and I would love to take my family there and show them all the places that I remember, and play tour guide for a week or whatever. But to live there, no. But it is a beautiful, fascinating, spiritual place. Yeah, I think there's spiritual places on on those islands, and yeah. Okay, number four. I don't know the name of the place. I never saw the name of the place, but it was this medieval hamlet in somewhere in Germany. 2 years ago, I visited Germany, and we were driving along the autobahn, and we just pulled off into some little tiny hamlet and found a pub and had schnitzel. And the pub and the schnitzel was great, and that was my first true experience with a real traditional pub. Like, what is a real European pub? I got to experience that. But the hamlet itself, with cobblestone streets, some of them literally barely wide enough for a car to fit, just cart paths, but they were paved anyway, and people used them. It was a really beautiful, wonderful experience. It was. I would have loved to have spent there was 20 buildings in this hamlet, but I could have spent an entire day there taking pictures and just exploring the littleness of it, and the beauty of the surrounding countryside. Yep, it was fascinating. I tried to look up on a map, but it could have been one of dozens of little hamlets that we found along the way. So I don't know exactly where we were. Yeah, maybe someday I'll try to look it up and add it to the comments of this video. Number three. This is a weird one for me because it's nothing special. There's nothing special about this place, but it's Madison, Wisconsin. I've been to Madison, Wisconsin quite a few times, actually. There is a trade show for board games there that I've visited a few times. I've been there for game designer meetups, and I absolutely love that little place. It's a beautiful little city with really wonderful social programs, amazing people, good beer, cheese is phenomenal. It's just a beautiful place. I don't know what it is. It felt magic. I'm from a rural area, small town, 15, 20,000 people. Uh, Madison, Wisconsin is the first and only city I've ever visited that I said I could live here. I could live in this place. This is livable, and I wouldn't feel out of place. I don't know why. I don't, and it might be the friends that I was with, and it might be that if I lived there, I wouldn't know about all these amazing things that my friends showed me and told me about, and it might lose its luster real quick. But based on my visits over the years, amazing place. Definitely would live there. Number 4, just been there last year. Went there last year for the first time, and I just can't wait to go back. And that would be pretty much all of Colorado. I don't know where to put. Denver was kind of the central point, but we also went north, we also went south. Pretty much the Rockies, that whole area. My Lord, it was it was life-changing. It was literally life-changing. I had so many spiritual moments on that trip, so many just intimate connections with whatever is out there that I can't describe it. It was mind-blowing. It was mind-bogglingly mind-blowing, and I cannot wait to go back. I want to explore the Rockies further. I want to see the gap. When we were there, it was April, I think, so there was still like 30 feet of snow. We couldn't drive over the mountains. I would love to take that drive someday and see what's out there. It was just something, it was just out of time and place. It just felt so correct, I guess, is the way that I could put it. I don't know why, but it felt phenomenal. And number 1, this one, I surprised myself when it made it to the top of this list. Again, I only visited this place within the last couple of years, and that is Gliwice, Poland. I went to Poland and Germany in 23, visited friends, went to a board game convention, but I got to spend a week in Poland. I got to visit a whole bunch of Polish cities, but Gliwice was super special. It felt like a small corner of a big city, and maybe it kind of is in some ways, because European countries are not big, so the next big town, Katowice, is just kind of right there. Like, it's not too far away, right? But Gliwice was kind of a small city, and this was my first experience with like a traditional European city, like a city center, a square, all the shops around it, and it was phenomenal. Before visiting there, Madison, Wisconsin was my favorite city. But Gliwice was magical. It was just so clean. It was so picturesque, but also compact, but felt open and wide. You go to like New York City and you have all of this stuff in the center, but you feel stifled. The buildings are so tall and so close together. Gliwice, I guess, had been, I might be saying this wrong, but I think it had been mostly ransacked. So when it was rebuilt, it wasn't packed as tight as European cities normally are. So it felt open and breathing and just vibrant. It was such a beautiful city. I absolutely will go back and explore it further. We got to visit some shops there and do some eating there, and I get to experience a bakery, and it was just such a beautiful place, and the people were phenomenal. It's a very well policed, meaning clean and tidy, not that there's a ton of police like we have in America, but meaning that the people are respectful of their city, and it was just unbelievable. I loved it. I loved everything about it. Can't wait to go back. Katowice, also gorgeous, but it's more like a city than it felt more like a American city in Poland. Gliwice felt like, what I expected a European city to feel like. There you go. My top 5. No, runner up on this list is Mexico. I got married in Mexico 2 years ago. I've been back to Mexico since, but we've only ever been to the peninsula, the Yucatan Peninsula. And I loved it. I absolutely love Mexican people. I actually love the language. Their food is by far my favorite food ever. But that peninsula is way too hot and humid. It's outrageously hot and humid, and I would like to visit some more temperate areas of Mexico. So that's why it fell off the list. It's outrageous. Okay, favorite places you visited. You should go to the comments and tell me. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Please watch the previous 2 and come back and watch the next two. We're doing top fives this week. Yeah, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. We've had positive growth lately, and I'm loving seeing that. So thank you. Thank you for checking it out. I'll see you tomorrow. Today's 1,000 and plus little things happy, successful people do differently. We are learning 16 harsh truths that make us stronger. On number 9, you can't change the past. You can't change what happened, but you can change how you react to it. Yes, yes, and yes. There's something, reiterating the past is the worst way to get over it. And sometimes it is best to put it to bed and move on.